If you've been here for long enough, you know that I used to make a parody of ASMR where I was talking a lot lower than usual because I am loud, but I can't go all the way to whisper because it just doesn't work for me. So today we're going to have a little chat about whether or not content creation is a job. Now, this video was inspired by Global John Galt, who posted a screenshot of the vicious cycle of redistribution, which we'll deal with in another video. But what I want to concentrate on is John's comment. Agreed, he makes his money off of our redistributed tax dollars to the low IQ masses. Take away redistribution, and Mr. Beast and ask the other social media clowns have to go get real jobs. Now, I'm not going to focus on what the hell is up with your grammar. I'm just going to concentrate on the main point. It is 2024, and I cannot believe that we're still asking if content creation is actually a job. So I decided, because I'm one of those people that doesn't make enough money to live on, I decided to go ahead and break it down for you. Now, I spend any video, even if it's a 10-15 minute video, might take 2, 3, 4 hours to get done because you have to do research. You have to look for things to talk about, or if you find something to talk about, you have to find out evidence, screenshots, whatever. So I went ahead and I looked at, in my case, because I make less than $20 a month from YouTube, I decided to look at certain things. And we start by using the definition of volunteer: a person who freely offers to take part in an enterprise or undertake a task. As a verb, freely offer to do something. And the example they use, he volunteered for the job. So then I went and looked at internship because I don't know if you know this, but back in the 80s and the 90s when I was going to college, if you decided to go on an internship, most of the time it wasn't paid. And it says here, noun, the position of a student or trainee who works in an organization, sometimes without pay, in order to gain work experience or satisfy requirements for a qualification. Example, they encourage students to apply for newspaper internships. And then in North America it says, the position of a medical intern in a hospital. Now, I believe those get paid, but he served his medical internship at Southern Pacific Hospital. So after looking at those two things, which is kind of sort of how it feels like to work for peanuts and when you're creating a content on social media, I decided to look for the definition of jobs. Job, a paid position of regular employment. Example, a part-time job. Number 2, a task or piece of work, especially one that is paid. Example, she wants to be left alone to get on with the job. As a verb, it had several interpretations. Do casual or occasional work. She jobbed as a waitress until her first role in a movie. Buy and sell stocks as a broker-dealer, especially on a small scale. His game plan is to buy in, then job the shares at a profit. Let's keep going. A responsibility or duty. It's our job to find things out. Informal, a difficult task. We thought you'd have a job getting there. Informal, a procedure to improve the appearance of something, especially an operation involving plastic surgery. Someone had done a skillful paint job. Informal, a crime, especially a robbery. A series of daring bank jobs. Computing, an operation or group of operations treated as a single and distinct unit. Informal, a thing of a specified kind. Anyway, the bottom line is this. I don't know if you noticed this, but it keeps going around two specific words. Job is mentioned on most of them. Task is mentioned of most of them. Work is mentioned on most of them. So the definition of work: activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. He was tired after a day's work. A task or tasks to be undertaken, something a person or thing has to do. I'm assuming they said thing because of robots. They made sure the work was progressing smoothly, and computers. Verb: be engaged in physical or mental activity in order to achieve a result. Do work. She has been working so hard. Of a machine or system: operate or function, especially properly or effectively. His cell phone doesn't work unless he goes to a high point. Now, why am I bringing all of this up? Because there's one thing that people don't seem to understand, and it's driving me crazy, and it's this idea that every job is a paid job. I don't know how much you know about writers, but especially on the first book, most of them are writing something and they're not getting paid until that book sells. Think any writer that you know that's big and famous now, or that was famous in the past because they passed away, like Anne Rice, or in the case of people that are still alive, there's too many to count, but let's think about Mr. Scary Movie himself, or, any writers. There's so many writers out there nowadays. And yes, I'm specifically trying to avoid Joanne. But the bottom line is that if you read any of their stories, you will find out that most of them started out writing something and then having to get an agent who would sell it. So that entire time, they were not getting any money from their quote unquote job. Think about an artist, a painter, or entertainer of any kind. When they start out, most of the time they have to do things for free in order to get recognized. I mean, how many times have we heard stories about actors that started out as waitresses and waiters at restaurants because they had to go from audition to audition? Do you really not think that that's work? That's part of their job, is going to auditions. And so we go back to YouTube. Now, y'all know that for the purposes of the United States, I am disabled, but not disabled enough to qualify for disability. That means that I cannot work a 40-hour work week outside the home. In fact, most days I cannot work outside the home because I'm in the bathroom all day. But I still have to make money because we now added over $500 because we had to get a car. We didn't even buy a new car. We bought a car that is from 2015. And you have to get the extended warranty, you have to pay for the insurance, and you obviously have to pay for the car. That added a little over $500 to our monthly bills. But there's no income additions because both people who actually have full-time jobs in this house don't have overtime anymore. So that means that it falls on me to create some sort of income. I found a company where you can work the hours as you please, which means if I start working, I work a couple of hours and then I get sick and end up in the bathroom for 3 hours. I am not going to lose my job. Unfortunately, it is not consistent work. So we decided that for 2024, I was going to spend the bulk of my time that I'm not spending working for this company creating content for YouTube. And that's why I decided to challenge myself to create a video every day. Now, what happens is that when I was creating videos in the beginning, you can see it in my eyes. I was having such a good time. And I was creating all kinds of content. There's some videos where I show you travels. There are some videos where I show you crazy things. And there are videos when I do commentary, like this one. But the reality is that in order for me to function, I have to sell myself, you know? And so some people decided to call me an avid beggar because I was posting my Amazon list, my PayPal, and now, of course, I have the link tree. The beauty of the link tree is that if you want to support the channel, you can do it for free or you can pay. There are many options available. And this video is mostly to ask you to please help support the channel. I don't care if you do it for free, if you do it for pay. Clearly, I need to make money in order to continue to create content, continue to get improvements on this. Because again, the money that I get from the project, let's call it a project, is not consistent. So I have to make sure that whatever I make creating content will empatar la pelea, which is Spanish for, make ends meet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So that's why, I post a link to PayPal, to Venmo, to Cash App. They're all on the link tree. I ask people to join the Patreon. I ask people to buy merch. We make merch. We don't make merch for the channel anymore. What we do is taking our artwork and turning it into t-shirts and things like that so that you can buy them and help us that way. And the bottom line is this. We do need your help. But if you don't have any money that you can spare, you know what you can do? You can share the link. You can either share the full link to the link tree or share the link to specific things that you like. Like if you like a t-shirt that we're selling now, go ahead and share that link so that other people that might see it might actually buy some. If you cannot help us and join Patreon, only $1 until March, but you can share the link to Patreon, other people might join. The bottom line is this. This particular tweet that John wrote sounds like jealousy. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm also going to tell you why people are hypocrites. Because here's the thing with John. I don't know what John does for a living. I don't care. But he seems to be jealous of people who are trying to make a living out of working from home, creating content on YouTube or, in this case, OnlyFans. Now, I don't have time to judge other people or think if people that watch my content have high or low IQ. I believe the people that watch my content have high regular IQs, like most people. I find it fascinating when people are hell-bent on crying, oh, this is not a real job. Meanwhile, if you go to their page, because sometimes they do have social media presence, they have their Amazon wish list and they PayPal ready for you to donate. But I'm the avid beggar. Yes, the hypocrisy is real. But more important, it's been 10 years since we've been able to make money out of YouTube, although other people have found ways from jump to create money from YouTube. And I still don't understand why people are so pressed about the ability of people like me, who might be disabled, who might have other issues, make money from home. A lot of people, if you actually pay attention to a lot of the people that have channels, especially in the commentary area, they will tell you that they deal with social anxiety and they deal with depression and whatnot. You know what that does? Sometimes it makes you stay home and not want to leave the house for days at a time. That is mental illness for you. And you know what that is as well? It's a disability. But in many cases, you will not qualify for disability unless you apply, get denied, and then hire a lawyer so that they can fight the case for you, which is ridiculous, because why would I hire a lawyer that's going to cost me thousands of dollars to make $1,000 a month? Oh, and did I tell you that if I qualify for disability, my husband can only make a certain amount of money, because if he makes over a certain amount of money, then I don't qualify for disability. Yeah, disability is meant to make you broke. Meanwhile, you can create content, which for some people is easier than others, and you can find yourself in a position where you can afford not to be on the system, which means taxpayers' dollars don't come to you. You can find a way of helping your family make ends meet, and in some cases, get out of the poorhouse and not have to rely on paycheck to paycheck like most of us do. And by the way, just because I'm going through the situation that I'm going through doesn't mean that this doesn't apply to you. If you have a talent or a skill, or you have a side business, the best thing you can do is create social media content to basically promote your business for free. It will help you to get your point across to more people. But you see, people like John don't want you to do that because, and I'm not going to get into the left or the right situation right now. Again, I'm going to deal with the actual graphic later. People like John just don't want you to prosper because, God forbid, you might actually have money to buy all those banned books that they like to ban, or to actually give your family a better life. Yes, because ironically, all the people that claim to be right and claim to be good Christians don't have a bone to share with Jesus' teachings, and they want everybody to be miserable. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. In the meantime, I am sharing the link tree on this information box here for this video. If you would be so kind to share it or to open it and find ways that you can help support the channel so that I can actually help my family make ends meet, I would really appreciate it. Thank you and have a nice day.